Hello, Zeb Aurelios from Star Wars Rebels, and you're listening to Inside the Force. Carabas. Gotta go, Hera's here.
It is a period of Star Wars mania, as new movies, comic books, novels, and TV shows populate the system. Fueled by their love and passion for the galaxy far, far away, two exceptional geeks tap into hundreds of holocrons in order to bring you the knowledge and insight of all things Star Wars. Come and join them as they go inside the Force.
Hey everybody, what's up? Dave Cottingham here with Casey Cooley.
Hello everybody.
Welcome to Inside the Force. We are 8 days, people.
8 whole days.
8 days away from Episode 8, The Last Jedi, coming to your theaters. Mm-hmm. Well, some of you, if you're listening to us across the way, I think actually you're getting it a little bit earlier.
Oh, come on.
I think they're getting it a day earlier. Mm. So, because I think one of my tweets I put out there was like 10 days, and someone said, it's only 9 days for me.
Yeah.
You know, something like that.
What?
Yeah. Hope you guys got your tickets, because they are pretty much gone. We are hitting the 6 o'clock fan event that night, Thursday night, December 14th. I am literally counting days. But I guess the first thing before I get into a little bit, how much are you? How conscious are you right now about social media?
Not much, really. And that's the thing. Like, it's like I have been just busy with life stuff, but I'm not actively seeking out a lot of the marketing of social media or trailers or anything like that. So it's been that side of it's almost been out of sight, out of mind. It's just whatever pops up in my Instagram feed that I scroll through, or
so do you stop and watch it?
No, not TV spots. No.
See, I haven't either.
Well, because some have come on TV while I'm watching it, and I will have to actively avoid it. But otherwise, it doesn't actually pop up anywhere.
Yeah, I Force Awakens. I watched everything.
Yeah, and
that's the thing is with Force Awakens. I feel like Force Awakens, they didn't really try to hide anything. I felt like they. It's introducing all these new characters. I feel like they kind of tried to misdirect you with Finn with a lightsaber.
Definitely.
Right? But other than that, it was, I'm looking at the poster right now. Like, we were just talking about this off mic, but like, there's no Luke Skywalker on there.
Nope.
And but they didn't hide the fact that he wasn't. They didn't hide the fact that he wasn't in the movie. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, he's in it.
Yeah, how much? Yeah,
how much? And obviously, the speculation came out that he was only in the last 5 minutes. So, but that didn't really upset people necessarily. I mean, I think a lot of people got upset about the fact that they didn't see all three of them back together.
Right. Yeah.
But I felt like just wasn't that much mystery. I felt like they revealed a lot of the planets already, like Takodana and Dakar. We knew about these things before we even went into the movie. This one, man, even with the spots I know that are out there that I'm not even watching. I mean, there may be one or two new shots. Yeah,
some new shots and a few new pieces of dialogue,
right?
A little bit,
but still, I feel like they're still hiding something.
Oh yeah, I'm just. I mean, I hope my expectations aren't shattered, but like in terms of not meeting them. But like I'm just from what I've heard that this movie is going to change so much. Like I'm gonna feel like I'm gonna walk out thinking like how could how does Star Wars move on from this? Like not in a bad way, but just. Like almost like everything will be known now as like all the movies that came before Last Jedi and all the movies that came after Last Jedi. Like this is going to change a lot of things. I think it seems like it.
And you almost on a side note, you almost feel bad for Solo.
Yeah, no.
Like how do you follow up with this?
It's going to be. That's right. They got a Han Solo movie coming. That may be bad. Who knows? Haven't seen anything yet.
Right. I just Yeah, I'm purposely, even with Rogue One, I was wanting to consume everything.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just purposely staying away from everything,
Yeah.
and because I do not. I mean, I feel like if there's one movie that I just can't be spoiled on, is definitely this one.
I know.
just can't do it.
That's what I was talking to Cody and Russ today at work, thinking like I'm staying off social media starting this weekend. I'm going to get off, mainly Facebook. I mean, Instagram I'm not worried about, but Facebook, Twitter, and I've already turned off my RSS feed notifications because I always got the Reddit notifications, which I think turned me on a couple things I didn't like, but
yeah.
I mean, like today, Cody needs to be our Reddit correspondent because he's always on it and he's so caught up to everything that's on Reddit, which is incredibly impressive. But he is actively trying to find the Last Jedi soundtrack track lists, basically. Like he wants to know what they are. He wants to know what they are. There's some guy today on Facebook posted like the cover, like the artwork and the case for the Last Jedi soundtrack. Supposedly, I mean, this guy isn't like an official Star Wars anybody, so I don't know how he got his hands on this. But he posted almost every like image of the CD case other than the track list. And so people were asking, like, dude, like, what are you doing? Like, what's the track list? And so he put it in a text. It might have been Twitter instead of Facebook, but he put in a tweet the track list, supposed track list. Cody was reading them off, and he was like making fun of it, thinking like, "Oh, this is definitely not real. Like, these are kind of like stupid names." Like, and I read what he was talking about, thinking like, "Okay, so if it's not fake, I'll look at it to see what he said." And I was reading through it, and like, this actually sounds kind of legit, man. And the two names that he was talking about that were kind of goofy, I think actually could be real. So I immediately averted my gaze. I was like, why did I even think that? So it could be fake, it could be real. I don't know, but no, it's he's kind of looking for that. I'm staying away from everything. I'm gonna stay off Facebook, and from our past experience with being spoiled for things, I'm just not chancing anything.
Yeah, me too. So as of right now, of course, if you've been watching, obviously the morning shows, the late shows, the cast is making the rounds.
Oh yeah,
they're doing all kinds of press all week leading up to the premiere in Los Angeles, which is this Saturday night, the 9th. And it's really cool because it's cool and it's strange because I've never actually truly seen a press tour like this where they don't talk about the movie.
I know.
They talk about everything else.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, there's some newcomers like Kelly Marie Tran and Laura Dern. Yeah. And it's like, hey, how's it feel to be in a Star Wars movie? Yeah. And that's it. Everybody else is like, so, what's going on in the holidays?
Yeah.
It's like they can't say anything. I mean, Jimmy Kimmel, which was one of the best ones I've seen, he had him in like segments. So the first segment, he had the main cast. He had the director out there, Ryan Johnson. Then he had Hamill, Ray, and Adam Driver. And so again, he's like, he started out by saying, okay, so we can't talk about the movie. So,
how's this shopping, holiday shopping or something like that? He said, like.
But they did say, and then the next segment brought out the rest of the cast. Yeah. Laura Dern, like I said, even Andy Serkis was there. It was pretty cool. Did you watch?
I watched them.
Oh, okay, good. What I really liked, which was the best part of it, was when Hamill talked about the Vader story from Empire, and I figured everybody pretty much knows it. But the summary of it is that no one knew about the line,
right?
Luke, I am your father,
right?
Or he said, "No, I am your father."
Yeah,
but. I think Kimmel brought it up like, were there surprises or something like that, or and
generally about like security and of spoilers, that kind of stuff. Yes. And he said like, well, for the first one, there's nothing. Like he was funny because he was saying how like he let his friends read it. He called it, can I let Sheila borrow? He's like, yeah, go ahead, let everybody read it. So it's everybody knew about it.
Hilarious, yes.
Until Empire came, then things changed.
Empire came, they locked it down, and obviously in the first scripts they didn't have the right line, and the line was, "No, Obi-Wan killed your father."
Yeah,
Which is even, like you said, it was actually a pretty good twist.
Yeah, he's like, oh man,
like, what? This guy that I thought was mentoring me, killed my father. And that actually kind of makes. I mean, he technically nearly did.
Yeah, he really did. And now I was thinking, like, what if it really did? Like, thinking, well, then the ultimate bad guy is actually dead now. So
yeah,
already won. But anyways, yeah, the story was a good story. He's good storyteller.
But would have been actually, what you think about that would have been what would have been the major twist of that. Truly, is if Obi-Wan didn't realize that his name was Vader. Mm-hmm. Left him there at Mustafar burning up, thinking that he died, but he didn't die.
Yeah.
And then he had to live with the fact that he killed Luke's father.
Yeah.
I mean, he would have thought that, not knowing that he's actually alive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And, so that line
yeah.
would have made sense to Luke, or Vader telling him that he did kill Anakin.
Yeah.
But I'm not Anakin.
Now, is there a canon storyline where Obi-Wan... Did Obi-Wan always know that Vader was alive? I mean, he had to have thought he was dead. Unless
you're right. I guess
unless we didn't see the conversation they had somewhere.
Well, I think in episode 3,
yeah,
that's what I kind of always had a problem with it. Mm-hmm. But do you remember when they show up, they as in Yoda and Obi-Wan with Bail, right on the Tantive V4? They show up. I don't know if that's a Tantive V4 or not. It looks like it's a Corellian
looks like
Corvette.
It is. Yeah, I think it is.
But he shows up at the Senate to go hear the whole thing about the changeover, right, to the Empire. Well, while that's happening, Obi-Wan and Yoda go investigate, right? They see all the dead Jedi and all this stuff. They go to the archives.
Yeah.
And then remember when he says, I got to see this?
Yeah. He knows that that's when
So Yoda says, now he's become Darth Vader.
Right. Sorry. Yeah. Vader.
But how do they know that? I mean, they must have seen more of the recording.
Yeah.
Because right away, Obi-Wan calls him the Emperor. And
that part,
and that's happening while they're doing that?
That part, they left out
They
somehow.
totally left out.
But but at the end, after 3, when does Obi-Wan know that Vader survived and now he is this...
Yeah, I would
in black armor.
I would guess that the rumors, or he just heard
about
some guy, Darth Vader, is now dressed in black.
Because it's funny. A good buddy of mine who's been on the show, Adam Horn. He wrote a fanfic of Obi-Wan Kenobi movie.
Yeah,
and he has that moment in there where Obi-Wan finds out that Vader survived, and he is now the main bad guy of the Empires. And it's cool. It's actually a really really cool script that he wrote.
So that's the only way I feel like I can put it together, is that he knows he has become Darth Vader.
Yeah.
And then he must have heard about a dark figure named Vader. That's almost like a half machine, kind of thing. I don't know. That's the only way I can figure it out.
Yeah, and then
but maybe we will get a movie that explains
it. Hopefully.
So that was really funny. The other thing on the press tour today, actually, the Star Wars show had their time with the cast, and again, they didn't talk anything about the movie.
Right.
Did you watch that?
I didn't watch that one, because I didn't think anything would. Honestly,
they asked them random questions like who's the funny one on set.
Yeah.
But really neat. The only thing that was really really cool about it was Andy was talking to Rian Johnson, and I guess they did some interviews whenever he got the job of directing Episode 8, and they said to him. They had a couple segments she brought up, and like she said, or I'm sorry, they brought up that when he had done a couple different interviews, someone brought him like a figure or something that he liked, and someone brought him something else they liked. And she goes, when we interviewed you, we met. Remember she says, remember we asked you what was the one kind of Star Wars toy that you didn't get when you were younger, and he's like, oh my gosh, she was like, do you remember what it was? And he said, yeah, it was the AT-AT.
Oh, that's right.
Well, we found
I saw that picture, yeah.
Oh, that he got...
Yeah,
they brought him the actual 1980...
That's insane.
He's like... Oh, I mean, you saw his face.
Yeah.
He was just so in love with it. Like, and he walked out, and I was like, this is mine!
Do they just have, like... Lucasfilm, I feel like they just got to have all that stuff.
I'm
somewhere
sure they
lying
do.
around still.
Yeah. In that... they showed on
Big
there.
vault.
They show it on that show
warehouse.
sometimes. Remember the guys go looking
Yeah.
in the warehouse. It's like a warehouse like in Indiana Jones.
Yeah, exactly.
Just boxes boarded up. Just
I bet
filled
there's
with
a vinyl cape Jawa in there somewhere, like 10 of them.
Gosh,
I don't
yes.
know, like it's like
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
we got them. Yeah, like
yeah, yeah. They took them off the shelf and put them in the case there. So again, I feel like if people are trying to avoid the press tour, it's perfectly okay. They're not talking about the movie.
sure. Yeah.
And I do got to mention one awesome thing that I saw this week. I think I mentioned it to you. I saw a tweet from Kevin Smith, and look, you may have your reservations about his movies and the way he is, but he is by far a fanboy and a complete, genuine nice guy. I feel like I can sit down and just talk to him for hours. But I found a tweet that he did, and it said it was a tweet. He retweeted a guy that was friends with a girl named Jessica who won the fan art competition
Right.
for The Last Jedi, and she won tickets to the premiere this weekend. But you have to pay for your own airfare, and I think she's on the East Coast. So it's a big. We're in that business. We it's like $700, $800 for a ticket, and it could be more. So she wasn't going to go because she didn't have the money. Well, her friend of hers put up a GoFundMe account called Get Jessica to TLG Premiere. Put the goal at $1,000, and right away, she was getting donations. $5, $10.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden, he tweeted. It's a very smart guy. He tweeted, "Hey, Kevin Smith and Chris Hardwick,
Right.
help my friend who won the contest get to the and he was like, just retweet this if you can.
Right.
That's all he asked for. Retweet
Right.
this if you can help get my friend to the premiere." Well, Kevin Smith retweeted it, but he also put in there, "Hey, I just got you about $40 short."
Yeah.
He put $800 into that GoFundMe account, and I took the picture when it was still 5 hours or actually 5 hours in. I don't even know how long this was last, but 5 hours in, she was over the goal. She had $1,131.
Gosh, that's awesome.
So
Good for her.
good job, people. And Kevin Smith, this shows you. And I clicked
Yeah.
on Kevin Smith's account. He's donated, I think, 4 times to stuff like this, like just people that are just needing money. And so anyway, I just thought people would be nice to know that there's celebrities out there that will listen and help.
Yeah.
It's pretty neat. So, although I want those tickets.
Yeah, I know.
So anyway, we kind of hit on the premiere a little bit. That's coming on Saturday. They're doing a whole live stream, like they did with Force Awakens. Did they do? Yeah, they did Rogue One too. I think they did live stream Rogue One.
Yeah.
But like we just said, starting Saturday night, not only are they having the premiere, what that means is that there are going to be a lot of people that see the movie.
Yeah.
So it will spoilers will start going on social media starting Saturday night. I guarantee it. And I've seen other people already said, blackout time starting Saturday night, blackout time. I mean, even celebrities, I've seen some of them like, I'm getting off. I'm not, it's like, again, this is obviously one of the most, if not the most anticipated Star Wars movie. But to me, I don't know. It seems like the most secretive movie.
Well, he's done a good job.
You know what I mean? Like,
no concept art leaks, really. No.
Yes, that's right.
I just heard. I feel like. I mean, again, I've stayed away from it, but I feel like I heard a decent amount of rumors at the start of production with some Knights of Ren stuff and Leia and Snoke stuff, and a little bit of that. But I've really, in general, not much as I've heard. I'm sure Reddit.
And at that point, I don't even know how that could be true because how would Ryan Johnson even have it written by then?
I don't know.
That was like really right after Force Awakens.
That was pretty early.
Yeah, like right
stuff
after
like
Force
that.
Awakens.
I don't know.
So it's tough to say.
Yeah.
But I do believe, again, I've said this 100 times. When episode 1, 2, and 3 came out, there was nothing really you could keep secret. I mean, you knew how it was going to turn out.
Yeah. Even the book came out before the movie came
That's
out.
right. Novels came out before the movie. So when you got to 7, it was like, okay, this we truly don't know, but I feel like they didn't hide anything.
Right. I mean, it didn't seem like there was much to be. There really be twists. Like you didn't think there'd be anything crazy new. Like you maybe anticipated, maybe we'll figure out if Rey is a Skywalker or not, or something like that. We didn't find that out, but Kylo as Han was the big one, and they didn't even treat that as a big, huge reveal in the movie.
No,
it was mostly just
conversation.
Yeah, it's mostly just like a rediscovery of all this wonderful, environment and culture and adventure. So, to me, that's what the best part of Force Awakens is that it's just this rediscovery of Star Wars, and going back to what it means and all that stuff. So, yeah, this time it's like, totally new territory. I mean, a lot of things are going to change.
A lot of things.
Crazy.
So again, blackout. So I do want to go over one article that I found too, which I thought that was pretty neat. And you chime in, Case, whenever you want. But it was. You ever heard of Gizmodo?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Gizmodo had an article. This got posted a couple weeks ago. I just never brought it up till now, but it's got a timeline. The article is a timeline of everything we know that happened after Return of the Jedi up to The Last Jedi. Return of the Jedi, Last Jedi. Yeah. So basically it's giving us a little timeline of the 30 years between the movies. And this is what we know so far. And I'm pretty sure we and you both have almost done everything that's on this list. But anyway... So obviously, right after they time this as the ABY stuff, after Battle of Yavin. So 4 years after the Battle of Yavin, the Galactic Empire. This says the Galactic Empire falls, but actually we don't know if that's true. It's actually 5 years.
Yeah, but
that's the movie, and then what's cool is that he's got this little timeline here. He's like, in the celebratory aftermath of victory on Endor, Princess Leia and Han Solo are married in a private ceremony. So, and he cites where it is: novel, aftermath, life debt, aftermath, Empire's End. And then he's got Luke Skywalker travels to planet Pelio in search of artifacts held in secret organizations, which has come from Battlefront 2. He encounters Inferno Squad agent Del Mico. So you got, and then some of these are really interesting because some of this stuff comes from Battlefront 2 now. But I think we brought this up before the Battlefront thing. But so Palpatine's death activates a contingency plan known as Operation Cinder. So this is targeting key worlds: Naboo, Vardos, Commodore, and more, with climate-disrupting satellite weaponry designed to savage worlds and install fear among Imperial citizens. So that's what basically, and that actually, I got to reread it because I really don't remember, but that actually was in Shattered Empire.
Yeah,
you mentioned that.
It originated there. I don't remember, it's a long time ago, but I don't remember much of a reference with that either.
Because Shattered Empire is right after Return of the Jedi, right? I think, which is, so is Battlefront 2, basically. Rebel Alliance dissolves, formally reforms itself into the New Republic. Then it actually has a couple of things in here from the Uprising game, mobile game.
Right, yeah.
Then you got planets like Akiva and Bespin are liberated by Imperial rule. That's an aftermath. Galactic Senate is restored on the planet. Now, so this is interesting. So the Galactic Senate is restored on the planet Chandrilla, and Mon Mothma is elected Chancellor. So we know that from Aftermath as well, but just a reminder that they didn't go back to Coruscant.
Right.
For some reason. And eventually, as we know, they got moved to the Hosnian system.
Right.
So it says also, Mothma announces her plans to relinquish the emergency powers granted to the Chancellor's office during the outbreak of the Clone Wars, as well as moves to reduce the size of the New Republic military by 90% in the aftermath of the Galactic Civil War. So that's obviously what Leia had a problem with. 5 ABY is the New Republic era. Of course, that's when...
that's after Jakku.
That's after the Battle of Jakku. It comes down here.
Right when it happens.
Han Solo goes and liberates Kashyyyk. And this mentions on here. I don't remember this that much. Do you remember this when he says, Han Solo and Chewbacca successfully liberate the Wookiee homeworld of Kashyyyk from the Empire's rule? His life debt to Solo fulfilled. Chewbacca retires to Kashyyyk with his family.
I remember that. Yeah.
So he does. I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't. I feel like I remember Chewbacca talking about his wife, I think, but seeing his son
and his son, absolutely.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, that moment where he says, "Basically, life debt is done," and he hangs back while Han kind of does his thing.
So we don't know. At some point, he goes back out.
Yeah,
Han.
yeah, exactly. They meet up again. That's all. Yeah,
okay.
Business as usual.
And then, of course, it says peace talks between the Empire and the New Republic on Chandrila disintegrate when former Imperial prisoners, unknowingly sleeper agents controlled by secret implants, open fire on Imperial and New Republic ambassadors, killing and wounded several. That's in Life Dead, if you remember. Life Dead is a great book.
Yeah, I love it.
That was awesome. Of course, then the Battle of Jakku, which is in Aftermath. It's in Battlefront. It's in Lost Stars. And that brings up, that brings up a real famous character, even though a lot of people don't know about it, which is Gallius Rax. That's his story in Aftermath.
He's referenced in Battlefront 2.
He is.
So it's Sloane, which is really cool to hear.
After being extracted out of conflict zones on Coruscant, Imperial Grand Vizier Masamida contacts Mon Mothma and sues for peace, initiating talks that culminate in the signing of the Galactic Concordance. So that's what truly ends the Civil War. The Galactic Civil War concludes 5 years after it officially began at the Battle of Scarif, is what they say. It officially began, because that was kind of the first
big
battle,
victory. Yeah,
first victory of the first organized alliance kind of battle. Ben Solo is born on Chandrila. I don't know if I knew that. Chandrila is this
where he was born? Probably. I didn't remember specifically where. I thought it was like on a ship or something.
Surviving Imperial forces led by Admiral Ray Sloane continued to engage the New Republic in various holdouts on Jakku before retreating into the unknown regions on the deathbed orders of Gallius Rax. She helps to slowly but surely rebuild the Empire in secret, an entity that eventually renames itself the First Order. So that Sloane has become a major character.
Yeah, but there's something of her past Empire's End.
No, there's not.
Right.
Not that we know of.
Yeah,
we don't. So then it's got the Wilderness Years, which is 11 years ABY, so that's 6 years after Return of the Jedi. Finn is born. Approximately between 13 and 19 ABY, First Order General Brendel Hux crash lands on low-tech world of Parnassus, which is what I am reading now, the book Phasma, encountering a warrior on the Sire tribe named Phasma. Phasma helps Hux leaves Parnassus, joining him as a member of the First Order's leadership. 15 ABY, Rey is born. So that is 9 years, right? No,
10
years.
No, 11 years, sorry. If it's, how much is it, 15 years?
15 years.
15 ABY, so it's
10 years after, no, I'm sorry,
11.
you're right, 11 years after Return of the Jedi. So,
okay.
11 years.
So she's fifth.
So she's 19.
Oh my gosh, I'm freaking out my math.
Right?
11, 19, yes.
She's 19 when Force Awakens happened.
Yes.
21 ABY, this is Bloodline, working in secret the political subgroup within the Galactic Senate. The First Order reaches out to criminal cartels, a mercenary group known as the Amaxine Warriors, to begin securing funding to rebuild its navy. Bloodline, that is awesome book.
Yes.
23 to 28, same Bloodline. After sensing the potential low of the dark side of the Force in her son, Leia sends Ben to train in the ways of the Force with her brother and his fledgling next generation of Jedi Knights. So That's between 23 and 28. So that's ABY. So that's 6 to about 6 years before, right? 6 years before
Force Awakens.
So that's weird.
So say the date again with the Amaxian Warriors. That's Bloodline as well.
That's 21 years.
20 years ABY.
So that's 17 years before.
17 years after Jedi Return. 17 years after Return.
13 years
13 before Force Awakens.
13 before.
Okay, and then...
So this is saying approximately between 23 and 28, so that's a 5-year gap.
Bloodline takes that long?
I know there's some...
I don't recall that.
That's saying approximately between those years, so they don't know exact. Maybe
she sends Ben Solo off to train with Luke?
See, I don't remember.
He was already training with Luke at the start of Bloodline.
That's what I thought too.
Oh, yeah. He's been gone with him for a while.
After sensing the potential lure of the dark side of the Force in her son, Leia Organa sends Ben to train in the ways of the Force with her brother.
Well, the lure of the dark side part I don't recall at all from Bloodline, but...
And his fledgling next generation of Jedi Knights.
And that's Bloodline?
It says the source is Bloodline.
That is not in Bloodline.
I don't remember that either. I remember her in Bloodline not hearing from them.
Yeah, because he's already with Luke.
He's already with Luke.
Say what?
I mean, does she maybe mention that? Like that happened before?
Maybe. I mean, I might have missed the Lord of the Dark Side, but the date is wrong.
But that would mean, because if this is, let's just say it's in between here, so 25.
Yeah.
ABY, meaning that's 20 years, right? So that's 10 years before Force Awakens. Am I doing that right?
Okay. Say it again.
So if it's 25 years ABY,
yeah.
So it's about 19 years after Return of the Jedi. So it's still about 11 years before Force Awakens. Mm-hmm. So he's born right at the Battle of Jakku.
20 years. Oh, 19. You're right. 19, because I keep forgetting 4 years after. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. And Ben is 30 when Force Awakens, or 29.
Yeah.
So he'd be... So that's what I'm saying. So this is saying that she sent him there when he was like 18.
Yeah. I mean,
Which, no way.
It's off.
He had to have gone when he was younger, right?
Yeah, well, the first date there was 17 years ABY, talking about Bloodline. I mean, so 17 after Return, 17 years after Return of the Jedi.
That's kind of describing when this mercenary group started working with the cartels. So that's kind of the history. I don't know if that actually... I know she discovers the Maxine Warriors.
Yeah, so
because I know Bloodline happens. It says
like
on
25.
it even says I think it says like 6 years before the Force Awakens.
But Ben has already been with Luke at that point, so
could
have been a few years before, 5 years, 10 years before.
Well, this is saying approximately 5 years before technically that book happens.
5 years before,
I think, right? If that's what it's saying.
Was it 23, 28?
23 to 28
ABY. So
if you do 25 right in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying. So then it's like 21 years. So there's still 9 years. So basically, that's what I'm saying. So he's older. He's older.
Yeah.
He's not like a kid. So maybe that is the story, because I never really picked up on that, if that's true.
Not the age. Yeah, I'm trying to see if I can read through here.
Because I could have swore I could have bet that, he was young when he sent him.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe that was the issue. Maybe he was like Luke, too old, but he tried to train him anyway. Because remember, we talked for a while of how long has Luke been missing?
Yeah.
Because again, in Bloodline, which is about 6 years before, she doesn't consider Luke missing because she doesn't know. And at that point, she doesn't even know really, or does anybody know that what happened? That Ben.
What?
Because the Bloodline is basically the start of the First Order too, like the reveal of the First Order.
Yeah, I mean it's at the very end.
She goes and starts the Resistance, right?
Like you don't you hear the first phrase of the First Order on the villain's side because that one chick, that one girl is financing them, whatever.
Right.
But Leia doesn't find out about the first. She just knows that there's something going on, but she does start the resistance at the very end.
Correct.
She forms Akbar and Snap and all those guys together.
Yes. So again, she doesn't know at that point what happened to Luke.
That's
or Ben.
I mean, like I said when we first did our review of Bloodline, I want a sequel to Bloodline.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
absolutely. So anyway, so there's that. That's kind of a little off, I guess.
Yeah. It seems
what
like
age was he when he went to go train under Luke? And at what point, because think about that. If that's true, if Ben doesn't go there until he's what are we saying? 24. So maybe he's 19. If Ben doesn't go to Luke till he's 19, so that means that's 19 years after the Battle of Jakku, right? So 19 years after the Battle of Jakku, you're talking that's 10 years before Force Awakens. That means for 19 years, Luke has been building a Jedi Academy.
You would think.
We would think.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, she says with her brother and his fledgling next generation of Jedi Knights.
Say, but I don't remember Bloodline a mention of other Jedi Knights, though.
I know, but nowhere it mentions that there was or wasn't.
Sure.
I mean, that again, we just have no idea.
It's just I have to think he had a working academy or some sort by the time Force Awakens, or by the time those Force backs occurred in Force Awakens, because we see a temple.
Yes.
It's burning in Last Jedi,
and we see
shots.
A sea of bodies.
Exactly. So it's like I feel like it's very safe to assume that those are a bunch of Jedi. I mean, I think there's other theories out there of what it could be, but it's like, I mean, it makes so much logical sense that those are a bunch of Jedis that he had trained, and that was the temple on some planet. Like, so yeah, I think that 19-year gap, I think he had a pretty good academy going.
But what? But I still think the question is, if that's true, why did it wait? I mean, is that true? Did she actually feel the dark side lore in him? I mean, she does mention to Han.
In Aftermath, she talks about how sometimes there's a weird cloud kind of tug of light and dark in her womb with the baby.
Yes. But also remember in Force Awakens, she says, like, it's like, said something about, what did she say? She said something about, I should have never sent him to Luke or something like that,
Yeah.
Because thinking that he could save him.
Yeah.
So that kind of hints at, like,
it's already been happening.
I'm seeing something bad.
Mm-hmm.
And, but Han says too much Vader in him, like, so that's interesting to know that Ben goes to him at that late time.
And also relates to Snoke's role in all this. Mm-hmm. Like, I guess,
when does he come
Snoke
in?
has been there all. Maybe he was part of. One of the rumors that he was part of Luke's academy, one of the other masters, perhaps. So, it's just like,
oh wow, I didn't even think about that.
Maybe because that makes sense if he was always there.
How does he become the leader of the First Order all of a sudden? Then
I know.
I don't know.
I mean, maybe it all just all happened at once, or maybe he was always.
Maybe he's Gallius Rax.
That would be so cool. Come back. Okay. I mean, that's a pretty mortal gash, and then him and Sloane had a pretty epic fight.
Like he was described as kind of a really big
tall guy. Right?
Was it a big tall guy?
I mean, Snoke's tall, but
yeah, I know.
Rax is human.
Yes, true.
So.
Anyway, so questions there. Hopefully they get answered, but we'll see. But anyway, Rise of the First Order, of course, in Bloodline. There's a lot of Bloodline here because a lot of stuff happens in Bloodline. If you guys want to read it, read it. The part about her, everybody finding out who she's the daughter of Vader.
Yeah, I mean, early on when these books came out, we were talking about how these books really wouldn't have an impact I think, in the overall canon. I think Bloodline does have a pretty good impact.
It
in
does
the
have
overall
a pretty
canon.
good, yes.
And it gives you a lot of, as we just talked about, a lot of what could be backstory for Ben Solo is, a lot of his motivation. It sounds like he's really neglected, perhaps. So, very cool.
Then, now this says, going back down here, it says approximately between 28 and 34 ABY. So 28 and 34 ABY.
That's 2 years before Force Awakens, right up to it.
2 years to...
Oh, 2 years. Sorry, yeah, 2 years.
So this says 2 years before Ben Solo falls to the dark side.
Okay. What?
Betraying his uncle, destroying the emerging new Jedi Order, and taking the name Kylo Ren before joining the First Order.
Does it say specifically 28 ABY?
It says approximately between 28 to 34.
See, that's not. You can't assume that.
This cites Bloodline, Force Awakens. Horrified by the slaughter, Luke Skywalker goes into exile in search of the location of the first Jedi Temple.
Like, because it could.
So this is only saying at the most he's been gone for only about 2 years.
Luke?
Yeah, because 28 is 28.
ABY is 24
Oh, so that's
24 years after
24
return.
to 30. So this is 24 to 30 years before Force Awakens, right? Or
after return.
up to Force Awakens.
Yeah.
24 to up to that's what the time frame is.
Yeah.
So somewhere between that 6, which is the 6 year gap that Bloodline is to.
Yes.
So somewhere
somewhere in there, Kylo.
which I'm assuming is somewhere between around the 5 year mark, 5 or 4 years. I can't imagine it being just 2 years, but maybe.
I mean, because Luke's been out of the public eye in Bloodline. He was already out of the public eye and becoming a myth. So
yeah,
it's like,
no one. That's the thing. No one. I feel like no one knows what he did.
Yeah.
Nobody. Like he went out and like we don't know, like the whole thing where the temple is burning down. We don't even know where that is.
I mean, they could all really just be it's like a monastery almost. It's just like they
probably
all stay there. They didn't.
But where did he establish that?
Yeah.
Was that an existing temple that he just reopened like he did in the expanded universe on Yavin?
Yeah.
Or did he actually get something built? I don't know. I'm assuming it's an older temple.
Yeah.
But we don't know what planet it is.
I also kind of thought too, it'd be interesting if while Bloodline is occurring, while those events are occurring, simultaneously Ben is becoming Kylo Ren and already wiping out the Jedi.
Right.
But we just don't. The just doesn't know.
No one. Yeah, and who would know?
Maybe she would feel it in the Force that Ben is becoming Kylo and turning. But like, yeah, I mean, to me, it's like that those events could be happening at the same exact time as Bloodline, but probably happened shortly after, very shortly after.
Yeah. So those are questions that I feel like they will be answered eventually.
Yeah. Oh gosh, every single second of this timeline is going to be filled.
Yeah, I agree.
It's already happening with the original trilogy timeline.
Which is our theories. We've talked about our theories of how we're going to see that. Is it a TV show? Is it an animated series?
Makes the most sense.
Is it comics?
Yep.
Anyway, so 34 years ABY, which is Force Awakens. They cite before the Awakening. They say Battlefront 2, which is because in Battlefront 2 the campaign skips 30 years or decades. It says decades later. And then goes into some comics. General Leia Organa tasked Poe Dameron, the Poe book. We're searching for Lor Santeca, so this is like right before The Force Awakens, basically all this stuff here. And then The Force Awakens. Captain Phasma comic is right after Force Awakens. And then leads up to Last Jedi.
Because there's seconds pass.
Last Jedi is right after. Which is going to be strange. I still feel like it's going to be strange.
Yeah.
Because how do you do a crawl?
Exactly.
That there's no gap.
I mean, it's just straight up gonna summarize. I feel like Force Awakens.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it would have to also talk about what the First Order is going to do, what the First Order is doing, because I think the start of the movie, it's going to be pretty close to the battle that we've been seeing in the trailer, which we'll talk about that next week. Speculations.
Yes, speculations. Okay, so let's finish up this one. So what we're doing, did I even mention this?
No,
3-part thing? Okay.
not in the show. No.
Yeah, okay. So what we want to do is this is part of our you see the title. It says part 1. This is our 3-part series leading up to The Last Jedi for our podcast. This being part 1, which is really kind of what we wanted to do there was kind of summarize the timeline a little bit, kind of throw some things at you that you can check out within the next week. But so this one is not this one's going to be more just a little bit talking about our expectations. In a couple days, I've got a unique situation where I've got the house to myself. Yes, this is the first time in I don't even remember since I was single, I think. But I got some of the guys coming over. Casey's coming over. We got some guys coming over that've been on the show that have done the commentary, our journeys for us, with us. We're going to have some of them on the show. I want to kind of get their take on, because they won't have a chance because our 3rd part, which is next week, is our full prediction podcast. We'll do nothing but predict what we expect to see in that 2.5-hour movie of The Last Jedi, which is the longest Star Wars movie. Will be the longest Star Wars movie to date. And again, I still don't know what I'm going to say. So I hope you enjoy these coming out. So, but this one, so expectation wise, I just wanted to kind of talk about, obviously not thinking specifically how we're going to see the movie, but just what do you, when you walk out of that movie, just kind of what do you expect to see? What do you, you kind of hinted at a little bit. Like, what do you, how do you think this changes almost the landscape of the Star Wars movies?
I mean, it's going to be, I can't even guess how it will change because I'm sure it's going to surprise me in ways that I didn't even imagine. But yeah, I think because early on when they started production, all the cast members were consistently saying that Rian Johnson is doing something different, really. Like he's, kind of being innovating, pushing the envelope with what Star Wars is. And yeah, it's still very much Star Wars. It feels like it's in the world, but he's doing something different. And that's kind of what we're getting for months. And then we saw the trailers, we're seeing all this stuff, and we're still getting rumors of like how this is a game changer of a movie. So, excuse me. So I definitely think that this is going to be a game changer, and I think it's going to really change. I mean, I don't think it's going to change the rules in a way of. I don't know. Again, I can't even say that. I'm just totally keeping an open mind of what can happen because with Luke's mindset of what the Jedi is supposed to mean and represent, I feel like it's going to test, not necessarily maybe change, but test a lot of the beliefs of what it means to be a Force, what the Force means, and what it means to be a Jedi and Sith and all that stuff. I think it's going to really challenge, for lack of a better word, but it's very accurate, that faith of the Force. So, I'm really anticipating that. I feel like walking out of the movie, it's going to feel very much how it felt like walking out of The Dark Knight, because when The Dark Knight came out, I saw it with a bunch of friends opening night, midnight, and we walked out of the movie. It was like 3 a.m. I feel like it was a super long movie, so like 3:30 in the morning. But we're all just we're quiet, and we're just not. Usually the movies we're talking about how awesome everything was, but this one walked out and no one said a word for a little bit because it was such an amazing movie when it first came out. And we just had to contemplate what we just saw and comprehend all the cool moments and all that stuff. And I feel very much that's how it's going to be with this. We're just going to walk out, and yeah, we're going to be raving how awesome it is and all the cool moments, but we're just going to have to mellow and sleep on it a little bit because I'm sure it's just going to make us think about a lot, and it's going to really, like you said, or we said earlier, it's like going to make us really think about what's going to be the next step. Like what in the world, how are our characters going to recover from this? How are they going to move on from this or change? Something's going to happen that was going to make us really anticipate even more so the next movie.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah.
I think I keep as we just keep inching closer and closer to this thing. My expectation is it's exponentially rising. I mean,
yeah.
and I don't even know. I still don't know anything about this movie. I really don't. But my sense right now is that I'm going to be blown away. That I'm going to find out things that I feel like I'm going to find out things I hadn't even thought of. And which I kind of hope. I kind of hope that I don't next week predict what's going to happen.
I know.
See what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Because I do want to be surprised. I do want to walk out of there thinking, wow, I just did not see that coming.
Right.
And there's some there's some risk involved in doing that in a movie, because a lot of people may not take it the right way. A lot of people think that it's not as big as a reveal as as you expect or you want it to be. But there's just so many unanswered questions going into this film about characters, about storylines, about the past, what we just talked about leading up to this movie, about what's going to happen in episode 9. I mean, we can start speculating that right after you walk out of this movie. And they haven't even written the thing yet, probably, right?
No.
So I mean, I definitely expect to learn more about Luke, because I do think in the end, this truly is a movie about The Last Jedi. I think it is. People speculated: is it Rey?
Yeah.
Is it Jedi? Is plural? It's like, but Ryan has said
It's Luke.
Luke is the last Jedi, and watching Force Awakens as much as I have, Snoke even says it.
Yeah.
Right. The Last Jedi returns. The Jedi will rise again. It's like, so he is the last Jedi. And I just as much as now I believe fully that The Force Awakens was a Han Solo movie, I definitely expect this to be a Luke Skywalker movie. I expect to see a lot of Luke in this. And hopefully it's not this, hopefully the whole movie is not him just cowering in the corner, trying to. We need to see. I expect to see Luke the Jedi Knight. Yeah, the Jedi Master.
Exactly.
So that's my expectation mainly, is that I want to see that character's progression, because that's what I feel like Kathleen Kennedy intended for this trilogy, right? That's how she got JJ to go on board. It was, who is Luke Skywalker? Yeah. So ultimately, I expect that question maybe not fully answered in this movie. Maybe it goes to episode 9, because talk about expectations, because I expect him to survive this movie. Yeah. A lot of people think he may die. Yeah. So that's really my thoughts about what I expect to see. I want to what's the one thing we've been mainly talking about this the past 2 years is Rey's background, right? And I think you might have said this to me a little bit ago, but I am truly almost to the point where I don't know if I even care anymore. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because if this is a family, they did say that on that Kimmel interview. It's like, it's a Skywalker story. These episodes are Skywalker movies. But I actually can get fully on board with Ben being the Skywalker. Yeah. And then Luke coming in the story now as the Skywalker. Does Rey have to be related? I don't know if she has to be related anymore. Yeah. And maybe she isn't, I mean, have you heard the rumor now? Is that she's Aiden's daughter.
Well, that's what I thought. And
you think?
I don't think she is, but that's kind of what I thought.
I don't either, but that obviously came about right.
Well, right when it happened, when Battlefront 2, and we talked about it on the show, and I was thinking like, oh, I'm surprised. I said on here, like, I'm surprised that rumor hasn't already caught fire.
Oh, it's out there.
Yeah, so I'm not surprised now that's like, okay, now everybody's jumping on the bandwagon because I knew it was just a time bomb they just lobbed out there in the game when Kylo mentioned Aiden's daughter. I was like, oh great, now everybody's gonna start thinking like, okay, Aiden's daughter's Rey, and so I don't think so because there's no way they can make that revelation like your parents were members of the Inferno Squad or something like
Correct.
that. There's no way you can make that stick and be
and the fact that they're not even Force sensitive necessarily.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden she's like one of the most powerful ones that Luke has encountered.
Sure. Yeah.
So I don't buy that either. But
maybe she's just got her bloodline is just from an ancient the old Jedi family. Just like that dates back to the very beginning.
True.
That kind of thing.
True.
Who knows? Some little.
But I also don't
Cool
feel.
thing.
I also feel like I'm not okay. So I would be okay with. I actually would be okay with if she's not a Skywalker.
Mm-hmm.
But I still would be on board with if she was the chosen one,
Right.
because the chosen one never says it has to be a Skywalker.
Mm-hmm.
So she could still be a chosen one, which is why she's so powerful.
Right.
But still, it's around Kylo or Ben
Yeah.
and Luke because, because it's possible Rey may go bad. I mean, and I don't know. So it's
Yeah.
there's all kinds of ways you can look at this story because we have no idea. But I would be okay with her not being a Skywalker and it not being necessarily her story.
Right.
But that would be a complete, I don't know, not story change, but almost a complete 180 of Force Awakens when it's centered around the scavenger. It's like now it may feel like it's centered around Kylo and Luke.
I definitely think Rey's going to remain the focus of all three of these movies. I think Kylo is just going to rise up to be on the same level. I think it's going to really be Kylo Rey story, but Rey will always be the hero of our story. I can't imagine they'll answer a whole lot of. I mean,
they got to leave some questions
they
open.
definitely they have to leave some definitely. So I'm just thinking, like, what all could they answer?
Well, or they can do what or they could do what Empire did.
Yeah.
I mean, when he said, "No, I am your father,"
Yeah.
is he really? Like, because of the prequels now. But at that point, you didn't know if that line was true.
Yeah.
Like, he could have just said that.
Yeah. Well, Luke's even questioning it still at the beginning of Jedi.
Exactly.
Or Return.
The Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. So there could be that where what you think is a bombshell gets revealed, but it's like, wait a minute, what's the credibility behind that? Is it real? Or,
Sure.
so then it's truly answered in 9.
Yeah.
I could see that happening. I could see that because you can't answer it all.
No.
You can't answer
absolutely
it all. And there's got to be some kind of big cliffhanger, I feel like, at the end of this movie. Mm-hmm. I don't know what that is, but yeah. So Rey, I agree with you. I think she's still going to be the central point, but I wouldn't still put it past that they, my theory of them being still siblings. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't be surprised by that either. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think it would be because for one, I think that would be a big fan service because of Jaina and Jason in the expanded universe, and them being the Solo kids, basically not twins but kids. Yeah. So to me, that's still a possibility, but I'll make my decision next week.
I got a lot to think about.
Yeah. So okay, what else? Anything else on that? Thoughts, expectation wise?
I don't know, man. And I'm just so.
Do you think 2.5 is too long?
No, heck no, no way. I've just been so surprised in myself and excited that it's snuck up on me. Honestly, we talk about it every single week, and I think about it every day, and I'm getting more excited all the time. But like it still has snuck up on me.
It has,
and we're a week away, and it's like, gosh, man, now it's really going to feel like it's going to be creeping. Maybe, who knows? Maybe this next week makes speed along. I hope
life makes things go.
I know
fast.
exactly. So this past year has been incredibly busy. So it's just I'm excited. And then, but then the time frame for Han Solo is even shorter. It's great.
I do feel like we won't be done talking about this movie, and all of a sudden Han Solo.
Oh no, yeah. Wait.
Like, wait,
yeah.
what?
Yeah.
It's May?
Yeah, that.
I'm not done breaking down Last Jedi yet. 5 months is not a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Do you expect a Solo trailer?
No,
we haven't heard a peep.
No, we have no. I've heard no rumors about it.
I know.
Yeah,
but you know what? I haven't heard either. I haven't heard anything. I haven't heard anything about Rebels. I haven't heard anything about Force of Destiny. Mm-hmm. Battlefront, just because it got released.
Yeah, and they're having their DLC next week.
Yeah, I looked back at the news. There's no news about anything. It's like it's The Last Jedi, and that is it. Mm-hmm. That's all they want you to be focused on, which is brilliant marketing.
Yeah. Even Battlefront 2 is now leaning to Last Jedi.
Exactly, because they're coming out with the expansion pack, right?
Expansion, the DLC, and they have this little campaign right now for Finn and Phasma.
Yes, I haven't even done that yet.
So.
Well, aren't they putting Crate on there at some point?
Yeah, Crate's on the next week as well.
One? Yeah, so
this
Crate.
next week.
So, yeah. But again, that's it. Mm-hmm. There's no news whatsoever about anything.
Yeah, I don't think that the trailer will come attached either before or later Last Jedi. And okay, I actually heard from Cody, and I think this is a Reddit thing, that there is at the end of Last Jedi, there's like a behind the scenes look or something.
Solo?
A Solo. There's some kind of little special preview of some sort for Solo. I don't know. I've only heard it through him through
That'd
Reddit.
be interesting.
So it's just.
I mean, that would be interesting to do it after.
Yeah, at the end of the credits.
Because you might, I think we mentioned it before, you might make some people mad.
Yeah.
If you show a trailer in the beginning, they're like, what?
Yeah. No. Got bad taste on
it. That's actually a very good idea. If they do that, I'm on board with it.
Yeah. I don't think, I was kind of thinking like, oh yeah, they would probably show it in front of,
I would think a teaser.
Yeah.
Even if you don't show him.
It'd be so cool. It's like you get a teaser in the very beginning and you're like, okay, finally we get something. Then at the very end they show like, what?
The actual trailer?
More stuff?
Or what if it is the teaser, like maybe, like a shot of him, like silhouetted.
Exactly. So I was going to say,
and it says, stay tuned for after the movie.
Oh,
to see the trailer.
Yeah. I'd be like, oh.
What better?
Yeah.
That's like the perfect way. That's what I would do.
Yep. Dang it. I make some phone calls.
Yes, because have you heard of? I mean, especially a big movie like that. Mm-hmm. No, nothing yet. 5 months away, nothing.
I know
on that movie.
I mean, it was kind of like this for Rogue One a little bit, but you had more time. You had a whole year between Force Awakens and Rogue One.
When was the first trailer? Was I think
April? Yeah,
yeah.
So it was like 4 months after.
So you had 7-8 months before the movie.
Yeah.
This is 5.
And this is different because you have a much shorter time frame between the movies, but still, it's just, I mean, they really like to hold the marketing for the next movie, until the current one comes out.
Very true, very true.
Which is smart, but
yeah. But you would think at least
excruciating.
I think Rogue One, we at least had stills.
We had a few stills. We had the logo. We had
we got the teaser poster. Did we get that teaser poster?
I don't remember. I don't know.
Was it Celebration? That wasn't Celebration when the trailer came out. There wasn't a Celebration, was there? There was a Celebration.
It was this Comic-Con they released. Was it Comic-Con they released the little
behind the scenes thing?
Behind the scenes thing, but also that like not fake, but that teaser where it went through the canyon and you saw the Death Star. And
that was Celebration in Anaheim. That's when I was there.
Right.
But they had Celebration Europe, but that was the Force Awakens year, I think. 2015.
Yeah, I'll have to look it up. All of
when did we go to this past? Did you go to this past? Yeah, you went to this. We went to the show.
Yeah.
That was this. Was that this year?
This year we did our show.
That was this year.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, time flies, man.
Was that April? That was April.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was April this year. Last year it was in Europe. That's when. Okay, so last year in Europe, that's when they did the behind the scenes thing. The Rogue One.
Yeah. We saw that at work. Yeah.
Yeah, and the Celebration Anaheim was when they did the teaser that wasn't an official teaser. It was just the Death Star in the background. Yes. But but I just feel like we had some material. Like we haven't got a picture, nothing.
Yeah, no.
We got all we got was Ron Howard's stuff.
Yeah.
And now a logo.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Whatever.
Yeah. Just a yellow logo. Okay, so of course we will be talking lots about Solo leading up to that. Okay, so let's close this out. So thanks you for joining us for part 1. Part 2 will be out this weekend, and then of course part 3 of this leading up to The Last Jedi will be out the night. We'll probably record it Wednesday night. It'll be out there for you on Thursday. As you're gearing up to go see The Last Jedi, you can listen to our prediction of the film. Our final commentary, which is our journey to the Force Awakens series that we've done, which is we've done these fan-made trailers of the movies and all these commentaries. The Force Awakens will be released this week. Nearly done with the trailer for that. I'm probably going to put it out. I feel like I'm going to put it out either Friday night or Saturday. Probably Saturday. And awesome commentary, I feel like, we did with Cody Geiler, who will be on the show in part 2. First time we did a commentary for Force Awakens.
Oh, it's fun.
Yeah. And we officially put out our ranking of movies. We should do that right now, actually.
Gosh. And it's funny because Cody actually kind of convinced me to man up a little bit with mine, but I'm going to stick to what I did on the commentaries for now.
So so if you've been watching our commentaries, we've been throwing out at the end of each one where they ranked in our list, and obviously after The Force Awakens, we now have all 8. I'll run through my list real fast. From bottom to top, I've got Episode 2, Episode 1, Episode 4, Episode 6, Episode 7, Episode 3, Rogue One, Episode 5.
Okay. Our bottom 4 are identical.
Yeah.
So I go Episode 2, Episode 1, Episode 4, Episode 6. Then I go Episode 3, Rogue One, 7, and then 5. But the reason I kept 5 number 1 is because it's like I feel like it's so taboo for me to put Force Awakens above Episode 5. It's just like, can it really be better? But
Cody did, right?
Cody did, and he just asked me the one question, and it's the question that I always knew the answer to. But it's like, well, okay, if you were to watch Star Wars right now, what would you put in? It's like, oh, Force Awakens. It's like, oh, there you go. Oh, yeah, I guess you're right. I guess that really is.
See, that's strange because I don't remember. Did he ask that on the show?
Yeah, you did. Yeah,
I said Rogue One. Did I say Rogue One?
Yeah.
So right now, I would put in Rogue One.
Exactly. I mean,
even though I wouldn't put Rogue One ahead of Empire.
Yeah.
Because I think Empire is still because this is, this is like our list of, I guess, our favorites, right?
Yeah, and it shifts.
It
shifts. And I would also put Empire. I mean, whenever Empire's on television, it's like, oh, of course I want to watch Empire. It's on TV. But no, if I just want some mindless entertainment in the background, just some fun, it's like, oh, Force Awakens is so much fun to watch.
Yeah,
it's just
that's true.
It's just so great.
But yeah, but me, it's like if I consciously want to put something in, then I'm watching it. So that's why I'm like Rogue One.
Yeah.
But like if it's just in the background, then I'll put in anything.
Yeah.
Or I would just turn it. Or if it's on TV, I'll just happen to watch it. But Force Awakens, yes, I've been watching a lot more of it lately just because my daughter is all over it right now. She loves it. So it does get better each time I watch it. Like it becomes even more enjoyable. And Rogue One, I just think it's so well done. I mean,
it's great.
It's so
it
well
is
done.
Great.
And being just completely outside of the normal timeline, it's part of the timeline, but the normal storyline, it's incredible how it worked out and how it fits and all that stuff. So, good character. So, all right, guys, thanks for listening. We will be back this weekend. Again, go check out our YouTube channel, Inside the Force on YouTube, where we've got our commentaries there for the films. We don't just really talk about the movies necessarily. We kind of talk about topics around the movie, get really in depth on some of the topics and characters. Our Force Awakens one, the last one, will be out this weekend, which will lead it right up to The Last Jedi. And then part 2 of this podcast series that we're doing right now will be out this weekend as well. And then we'll wrap it up with part 3. You'll get that the day of the movie, December 14th, which is our full prediction of the film. Got a lot to think about. Next 8 days on what I'm going to say. So we appreciate you guys. InsideTheForce.com. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Inside the Force. He is Kryptonia1138 on Twitter. I am DCottingham2 on Twitter. Thanks for joining. We'll see you guys next time for Casey Cooley.
Something inside me has always been there, but now it's awake.
Wow.
If that actually makes it, if that actually makes it into the movie, who knows?
Yeah.
I did that with Rogue One before it came out. I was quoting stuff from the trailer that didn't get
in there. Yeah, right. All right. Thanks, guys. Have a good weekend. Again, if you want to be spoiler free, go dark.
Yep.
After Saturday. Besides.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Go dark on Star Wars. Go to InsideTheForce.com.
Exactly.
We don't do spoilers on there.
Spoiler free.
Spoiler free. Listen to the show.
Yeah.
Watch our commentaries.
If you just subscribe to us on iTunes, and then you just go to, all you have to do is go to the podcast app.
Just go to iTunes.
Go to iTunes.
Go to the podcast app.
No spoilers there.
Get the show. Yeah, that's all you got to do. Thanks for listening, everybody. He's Casey.
Goodbye, everybody.
I'm Dave. May the Force be with you.
Thank you for listening to Inside the Force, a Star Wars podcast hosted by David Cottingham and Casey Cooley. For more shows, additional content, articles, and the latest Star Wars news, please visit InsideTheForce.com. Inside the Force. For the Force, then all of us.